Hello everyone and welcome to Pazzo Gaming. Today we're going to go through Steve's carts, which is essentially an automated, if you think of it as like an automated little cart or a little train that you can combine to do multiple tasks. We're going to kind of build below our last one. We went through big reactors, how to make a reactor, how to make our turbine, and we used some ender tanks and everything else, which is currently now filling up our massive capacitor bank, which is on the wall right here. We can see we have about 2.6 billion RF, so plenty of power there for our whole base. We're just going to continue to let that completely fill up very slowly, and we'll go from there. So with Steve's carts, basically everything is built around the cart assembler right here, and the assembler is fairly easy to craft. It's just made by 3 iron, 4 stone, and a simple PCB. The simple PCBs, again, are very easy to make. They're made with some iron, some redstone, and some gold. So once you have those crafted, you can place the block anywhere. It does not require power or anything else. And as you can see, it's quite an extensive UI here that opens up with it. So the primary build, or that determines what kind of cart you can build and everything else, is your hull. So your hull allows for, there's 3 different kinds, 3 primary ones, if I recall. There's actually a few other ones too, but 3 primary. So there's your wooden, your standard or your iron one, and then your reinforced, and then if you really want, there's your Galdorian, which is the real end game one. The mechanical pig one, to be honest, I haven't used it, but it is there in the middle, but that's where it sits. So today we're going to make the standard hull, and as you can see as I mouse over each of them, they have limits of certain things they can do. So for instance, how many engines it can have, the number of add-ons you can add to it, the module complexities, and the capacity overall. So we're going to build the standard one because we're just going to build a simple digging cart that will basically dig a tunnel, lay track, and lay down torches. So it's very, in terms of Steve's carts, it's fairly straightforward. In other episodes, we'll go into things like planting. You could do cow milking, you can plant trees, you can plant wheat, you can plant food, you can have it, a whole bunch of different options off that. So first thing you want to do, like I said, is build a standard hull. So your standard hull consists of 5 iron ingots and some iron wheels, which are fairly easy to make, all these things. So once you have that, you just take your iron hull, and we're going to place it into our cart assembler. So our cart assembler then, as you can see, it opens up all the functions within the UI that we have the ability to. So we knew the max engines was 3, so it only allows for 3 actual slots here. So now we need to start adding things, basically, and we can just go in order. We're going to go with an engine. So we're going to build just a standard traditional coal engine, which is very simple. It takes coal to burn, and that's how it moves the cart. It's made by having 5 iron ingots, 1 furnace, and 2 pistons. You place that into your cart, and as you can see, it shows up here, and the graphical interface does update, and now it has a little coal furnace or viewing port just on the front of it. Next thing we're going to add is we're going to add a drill, and we're going to add an iron drill, which is just made by having some iron ingots laid out like so. And what this is going to do is going to create a 3x3 grid in front of it. And so that's your tool on the front. And as you can see, it updates the graphical interface in the middle here for our cart and what it looks like. Next thing we're going to add to that is we're going to add some internal storage, which basically will consist of make a little chest for our cart, which we've seen we placed down here. I don't believe, yeah, there's no picture for that one. What else? We're going to add a railer in our case. So a railer will allow the Steve's carts to place rail track as it moves along. So basically it will place track in front of itself as it digs forward, allowing it to continue to move forward. If you didn't have the railer, it will only go as far as the track would allow. And then you have to constantly place the track. So in this case, I don't want to place the track, so I'm going to use a railer. So your railer is, again, 6 stone, very simple, iron, and a piece of track in the middle. And we're going to put that into our cart, and we can see that here in the attachments. And why don't we add a liquid sensor? So a liquid sensor is very important, in my opinion, for having a digger or any type of digging cart. As you know, there's lots of points throughout the world where there's lava or other liquids, lava and water primarily. Whereas if I dug into a lava reservoir, the lava would come down and it would actually destroy the cart. So what the liquid sensor does is it allows it to see the liquids, and it will not dig the blocks that will cause lava or water to fall in it, thus leaving it alone. So we're going to place those ones into it as well. And we're gonna do, I think we got everything in there. We got our iron, we got our hull, sorry, we got our engine. Let's see here. Yeah, we got our engine, our drill, railer, internal storage, and liquid sensor. I think that's it. I think that's it for now. That's all we'll add in there right now. And what you can see is, so this whole block, though, like I said, it doesn't run off RF, it does take fuel to build it. So that's the one thing with Steve's carts, the more modules and the more things you add, the longer it takes. So this one actually wants to take 12 minutes it's going to take to build. So what we're going to do is place some coal in, and we're going to hit the assemble button. And what this will do is it will start building the cart that we put together with the configuration we have. There's probably close to, I think it's like, it's either millions or I would say even higher, billions of different combinations. There are tons of different modules and add-ons and everything else for Steve's carts. So while this is going, I'm just going to let that go. I did make one already. Mine does have one additional feature, which we'll go through when we get there, but otherwise it is the exact same one. And you can see it will spit out a cart, much like this, and it lists all the things. So we have our standard hull, we have our coal engine, we have an iron drill, which is at currently 99% durability. The iron one does degrade, whereas things like the Galdorian, much like the Galdorian hull, there's a Galdorian drill. That one does not degrade with use. There's a railer. In this one, I actually have a torch placer, which will place torches as it goes as well, so preventing a dark, long tunnel. I wanted to have torches every so often, so it will do that and place that. We have an internal storage, same as before. This one has a chest on top of it as well, so just additional internal storage. And it also has the liquid sensor. So the very first thing you want to do once you have your cart made is you want to place some rail. So I usually recommend just a little bit of a starting area to get it started. And after that, you can just right click and your cart is now in use on the track. So now that you've placed the cart onto the track, the one other item you want to go make is you want to go make your module toggler. And so what this will do is it will allow for you to turn modules within the cart off or on, depending on which way on the track the cart is moving. And as you can see, it's made by a bunch of just very simple items. You got some dyes, some stone, a PCB, some redstone, and some gold. So we're going to take that out and we're going to place that beside our track. And now we can see, if I just push the cart, you can just push it just by running into it. We have arrows, one yellow and one is blue. So we're going to right click on this, and I want it to turn the drill off when it comes onto the yellow side. So when it's facing this way, I don't want it to drill anymore. I want it to drill only that way. So I'm going to have it go on the yellow, it is disabled, and on the blue, it is enabled. So in this case, we have exactly that. So it says orange direction, it is deactivated, but on the blue direction, it is activated. So what that means is even if it hits the end of this, it will come back and then it will turn off the drill and bounce off this side and keep going back the other direction. So now that we have that in place, which basically protects our base so it doesn't drill backwards into it, we're going to place some items into our cart. So our railer, for instance, needs to have some track placed within it, which will allow for it to place the track as it moves forward. We're going to need our torch placer. We'll also need some torches within it. So we're just going to place those in. So now it has a whole bunch of torches. And the last thing we need to do is we need to put some coal into the cart, which will allow it to move forward. And as you can see, it starts to immediately start moving forward as soon as you put coal into it. And it will pick up every item that it finds and put it within the internal storage. So that's why adding more and more storage within the cart is a good thing. You can put side carts, you can do a bunch of things. And as you'll see, as this just continues to dig forward. So we're just going to do a bit of a fast forward here as this digs through. All right, perfect. As you can see, it's drilled out, probably gone back about 8 layers of blocks, and it's laid the track in front of it, and it's also laid these rows of torches as it keeps going. And this will just continue to happen as it goes back until it either runs out of fuel or the internal storage is filled up with all the blocks that it's picked up. At which point, if it runs out of fuel, it will stop where it is. If its storage tanks are full, it will actually keep coming back. And that's where you can set up other tracks and paths and everything else that can basically dump items into chests and everything else out of the cart automatically. So we'll go through one of those in one of these later videos. But for now, that kind of wraps up our intro into Steve's carts and how to build a tunnel with it. Thanks.